Good morning and welcome to our annual Solid Waste Management Authority meeting this March 12th of 2024. Ladies, we have minutes to approve from the meeting last year held on March 14th, 2023. Each of you should have a copy. I will provide a couple of minutes if you'd like to take another look at that before we approve the minutes for last year's meeting.
And then if I could also ask the clerk to record my statement as it's filed.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
How about a second? Second. All right, any discussion? We'll call the question. The motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Sheffield being absent. And we will now turn things over to our director, Dr. Jenkins, to walk us through the rest of today's presentation.
Good morning, Chairwoman, Commissioners, County Manager. Got a pretty full agenda, so without much preamble, I'll have Mike Ellis, Operational Manager from Tag Grinding, come up as the first presenter. As we go through each of the operational facilities, they'll give an update and talk about any innovations, improvements, and contract issues associated, with their operation. Mike? Let him click.
Good morning. I will keep it kind of short today. I haven't brought anything much new today, but our first slide is our income.
Sir, can you just tell us your name again?
Oh, I'm Mike Ellis, and I'm with Tag Grinding. I thought you remembered me from last year.
We should know you by now, huh?
But anyway, our income is fairly stable. It just changes just slightly over month to month. You really don't know. It just depends on what might be going on nearby, or storm, bad weather, whatever. It might raise a little bit, but pretty much it's been the same. And on the next slide, our customer account just follows that perfectly. Like I said, the blue is 2022 and the red is 23. You can see there's not much change.
Excuse me for a moment. If I can get some assistance, I don't have anything showing on my screen.
Uh-oh.
It's just making it difficult for me to see the data that you have presented.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. She got it.
Thank you. Bear with us a moment, please. Thank you. Oh, there we go. Thank you. You got the touch. Okay, Mr. Teller, whenever you're ready, you can get started again.
Okay, you want me to back up? Can you go back one?
I got it right here.
Okay. So like I said, our income just very stable. The blue is 2022 and the red is 23. It doesn't change very much month to month. You'll see that when I show you in a minute, the numbers are almost identical to the year before and the year before that. And so if you look at our customer count, it's the same, follows the income very closely. And the revenue, 2022, 1.97 million, and 23, 1.918. So we dropped about 3%. And the revenue, of course, that we paid Cobb also dropped only $4,000. So we went from 148 to just $4,000 less than that. And the customers, we went from, oh, no problem. We went from 34,557 to 31,496. That's just, I say customers, but it's transactions that we, sometimes it's the same customer 5 times a day. Okay. With dirt, as you probably rode by, you can see that we increased that substantially because our first couple of years, it took a while to get started and the work that we had to do to get the site going. But now in '23, we raised a little over $1 million of revenue to the county, $280,000.
Wow, significant.
And our markets have not changed, but primarily, as I've told you in the past, we're making electricity. We take this wood, we grind it up, we haul it 90 miles to the mill, and most of the time it's to the standalone power plants, but sometimes to the paper mills. But they're making electricity, so we're feeding Georgia with some kilowatts. And that's about all I have.
All right.
Any
Great.
questions?
Yes, I believe we do have one question.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation. Just one question for you. The dirt pile increase seems significant. Is there a reason for why we saw that increase?
Well, there's some sites that's close by that need to get rid of their overburden, so it's just coming in pretty fast. There's a site over there by the stadium, I think where they're building a bank. They had a good bit of extra dirt, and they're bringing it in, so it may plummet again if the construction moves out very far, because it's all about the trucking with those dump trucks.
Okay. Thank you.
So the more proximate there's construction, the more likely you are to see an increase.
Yes, ma'am.
Dirt.
And it's possible, because we are allowed to haul it back out. If we had a site that needed a lot of dirt, then I'm sure that's going to come up, it's going to go back out.
So people, are you primarily utilizing commercial customers? Can the general public come in and get dirt?
Mostly commercial.
Mostly commercial? Okay.
Yes.
And then the same question Commissioner Richardson had, but for the prior slide, you had a 3% decrease in customers, or not in customers, but in the revenue or transactions. What was causing that?
Could you say that again?
Yes, go back a few slides. Here with the tag grinding, you have a drop of 3%. Is that considered significant?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay.
No, it's just like, I think it's very stable.
Okay.
It doesn't change much. I remember in October 2020, we had a storm and it went way up. It just depends on that. But we keep the yard pretty manageable, so if we did have a storm, we have room.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any other questions? Thank you. Appreciate your
Yes, ma'am.
presentation. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Next up, we have Ms. Brandy Edwards, who is the General Manager for Transfer Stations for GFL.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hi, Brandy.
I brought a couple people with me today. So I have my Area Vice President, Eric McGaden, Luke Ewing, and he is our Government Contract Manager. Kristen Gore, she's actually, you've seen her plenty of times. She's the site manager for Cobb County, and we have Brent Shows. He is our corporate recycling. So, you saw this one?
Yes.
So year over year, we kind of stayed pretty consistent when it comes to days. We're open from 7 to 4 on Saturdays, so we are open a full day on Saturdays. We typically don't do as much volume on a Saturday as we would on a Monday through Friday, but we're pretty heavy. So on a normal day, we're 7 to 5. So the number of days year over year were still 307, but our tonnage did come up significantly. We had a lot of new commercial customers. We also had some, I don't know if you know, but Douglas County landfill or transfer station, they had a fire. So we have seen a little bit of increase from Douglas County. I wouldn't say it has been a huge difference, but we have picked up some commercial volume. And our tons to the landfill kind of go hand in hand up with what we had year over year with what we received. And then our total transactions were up by almost 28,000. In 2022, we averaged 559 tons per day, and then in 2023, we averaged 626 a day. So we had a pretty significant change in the tons per day year over year. And those transactions per day. That's a difference of 90 transactions a day. And those could be between the residents, Cobb County residents, non-Cobb County residents, or commercial. And then our payments to the county went up by $18,387.50. That's based on the tonnage. And then this year, we should actually see a pretty significant increase because we did an amendment and the county will be getting more per ton. So last month alone, I think the increase was about $3,000 or $4,000 just in 1 month. And then looking at the recycling year over year, we work with Keep Cobb Beautiful at their 2 events that they do, one in the spring, one in the fall. But we also take this stuff on a day-to-day basis. The electronics, that's something that is typically more, you need some? Oh, okay. The electronics is something that is more prominent at the events that we do with Keep Cobb Beautiful. We did notice a little bit of a decrease at the event in September, at the end of September. Typically that event is in November. And I think they were trying to work out, it was at a different location. So I think that kind of threw it off a little bit, but that's why I believe like part of our electronics are significantly down. Our antifreeze was down by 51 gallons. That's not a big difference year over year. Batteries, 2.13 tons. The metal was down, and that just depends on residents if they're recycling their own metal. Our oil was down by 746 gallons, and tires, they were actually up year over year by 36.79 tons. We did see a big cleanup in tires that were recycled through the transfer station that we send to Liberty Tire. And then our paint recycling was up by 577 gallons year over year. And that's all I have. You guys have anything for me?
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions? No questions, Brandy. Thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your presentation this morning.
Thanks, Brandy. All right, next up from West Rock, we have Mr. Will Howard, who is the West Rock General Manager for our facility.
Thank you, Dr. J, and thank you, Board, for having us here today. Dr. J originally told me I had 12 minutes, but I'm probably going to take 14, 15, because it looks like we're pretty on schedule. Hard stop at 9. I want to do something a little bit different today than we have done in years past. I want to talk more about Big West Rock. What does West Rock do as a company? Just to provide some knowledge to the Board and to all the people that will end up watching this. Let me introduce my people, sorry. Today we have, here is Stephen Klein. He's my plant buyer. He's a guy who's helping keep the system fed, keep tons coming into the plant. We have Hal Risher, our Director of Strategy, and our VP of Plants, Matt Glassner. And again, I'm Will Howard, General Manager for West Rock Marietta. Oh, okay, I like that.
Thank you.
All right, so jumping in, Big West Rock, what do? We provide innovative packaging solutions, fiber-based packaging solutions for the United States and globally. So a lot of the items that you're going to see in the store, whether it's a cereal box or a beer box or a display that's made out of fiber packaging, a lot of that is being provided by WestRock to big customers in and around the entire world. So we operate 31 paperboard and container mills, 300 some odd converting facilities. We have 18 recycling facilities. That's one of them is right here in Cobb County, which we'll talk about a little bit later. 63 packaging distribution sites, and about 58,000 team members to help support all of those different operations. Interesting, we're about 1/1000th of WestRock because we have somewhere between 48 and 58 people. So let's talk a little bit about our business. We're about $21 billion in sales as a whole company. 57 million corrugated containers that we produce annually. That's a lot. Large global business. 16 million tons of mill capacity. And the reason why we're here is all of the fiber procurement for that system. So we produce and take in and use about 7 million tons of recycled fiber every single year. So that leads me to what I am most proud of at WestRock is our circular story. So if you look at the life cycle of a paper, a life cycle of paper, you can start anywhere in the process. I like to start at the recycling plant. So the recycling plant is taking in these materials, we're sorting, we're processing, and we're getting them into their individual grades. So OCC, old corrugated containers, cardboard, mixed papers, sorted office paper. All of these things are going into our mill system, but they also need some virgin fiber. So the other side of our fiber supply arm is forestry, and we practice sustainable forestry. So what does it mean whenever I talk about sustainable forestry? Sustainable forestry is keeping tree land. So if WestRock is cutting a tree to send to a sawmill to go either into dimensional lumber or directly into the WestRock paper mill system, we're looking 35, 40, 50 years ahead. We're working with landowners to keep that tree land healthy for trees and as tree land so it doesn't get turned into a distribution center or a housing project. So all of that fiber supply arm goes directly into our paper mill. So paper mills create roll paper. That's like the big, large rolls that go directly into making corrugated packaging and to container board converting facilities. Those mills then create either cardboard or those container board packaging items, fiber-based packaging items. That then goes to the store where you're gonna buy it. You're gonna walk down an aisle, and we've got an example of just a very small subsect of some of the things that WestRock makes. You're gonna see all of these different boxes and corrugated packaging. You're gonna use them, and then hopefully, if everything goes right, it's gonna come right back to us, whether it's through the Cobb County drop-off site or whether it's through a residential curbside bin being delivered and dumped on our transfer or on our tip floor. So it's that full closed loop of WestRock is consuming and sorting and processing and keeping those fiber materials in a constant system. So let's talk about how many tons that is. Again, about 7 million tons of recycled fiber. That's what I'm really proud of. But about 39 million tons of virgin fiber. Now think about how much tree land that is. That's remaining tree land. Think about how much that's doing for the environment, practicing that sustainable forestry. So we're not just a recycling plant. We're part of a much, much larger system that is creating that closed loop of fiber packaging. So this is the very small subsect of what materials we produce. I mean, don't want to name some name brands, but they're up there. I think you probably recognize every single one of these and more. When you walk down the aisle at the grocery store, you're going to see all WestRock packaging. So now let's talk about my facility, WestRock Marietta, 1775 County Services. 225,000 square feet. We process between 11 and 12,000 tons a month. What do we process? again, we are here for fiber-based packaging. So old corrugated containers, that's OCC, that's cardboard, that's Bala cardboard, mixed paper, that's any kind of materials. Dr. J is definitely going to recycle this. I'm going to recycle mine once I'm done with it. Sorted office paper comes to us about 400 tons a month. That goes directly into the tissue industry. In residential single stream, you have everything all in one bin. So, and it's everything. I got some stories. So the other side is our non-fiber materials. So PET, HDP, 1s and 2s plastics, steel, aluminum, all of these materials go into our facility. We separate and process and get those out to be made into new goods. So a lot of our PET goes into the carpet industry, which is right up north of here. I mean, Mohawk, and that industry is huge, booming in Georgia. It also goes back into bottle-to-bottle, being turned back into new PET bottles. HDPE is the same thing. Steel goes to steel smelters and can be turned into really anything. Tin can can become a tin can. It can become a multitude of any ferritic metal packaging. Aluminum, fun fact about that, whenever aluminum is recycled, 96% reduction in carbon footprint versus being mined from ore. So very interesting. Also, it's one of the things that helps keep the lights on. It's a very inherently expensive material. Sells for about $1,200 a ton, but only represents about 1% of the single stream. Let's talk about some of those recycling markets. It is, if everybody has been watching the stock market recently, the stock market screams sometimes. Who knows if it's due for a correction, but if you look at our fiber-based packaging, look at the OCC market for the last 3 years in February. 85 to 160 to 35 to 110. It's like throwing darts at a board. The good thing about WestRock is that we consume that material, so we don't have as much negative whenever the pricing changes significantly, because we are using all of those materials. Like, yes, the price goes up, the price goes down, we're still going to consume 7 million tons of recycled fiber annually and increasing every year. Let's talk about our drop-off center. We again want to thank Cobb County for the work that they did there. We want to thank DOT for helping us to keep that site open for all the residents of Cobb County throughout the duration of that project. Big shout out to Dana at Cobb. We worked hand in hand every single day. But with that being said, we did have a drop in our drop-off center activity, mostly because it was difficult. We were operating on a postage stamp there for a little while, but we kept the doors open, we kept receiving those tons, and at the end of the day, we still took in 735 tons. That's pretty significant. It is a drop over our 2022 tons, but we're expecting 2024. Whenever I'm standing back up here, Lord willing, in front of you again, I expect to see that number being a lot higher because it has been made so nice. Financial impact to Cobb County, we highlighted it just because of the drop-off reconstruction. It did drop our payments a little bit, just a couple of percentage points. As we said, every year we have goals for growth. We're trying to grow that fiber into the WestRock mill system. We're trying to grow that drop-off volume. So we expect to see this rise in 2024, but due to that drop-off down, being down about 250 tons, it did drop our payments to Cobb County just a little bit. So looking at it, I mean, you can see that's a massive difference. We really cannot thank you guys enough. We added some new boxes, painted existing equipment, got that to be very, very nice for the residents of Cobb County to come and drop off. That trailer is gone, and it's a nice, flat, concrete graded site that's going to be there for years to come. So you guys did some work. We wanted to do some work to the facility to improve the property as well. We added about 1,000 square foot to the back dock. This was both production and safety based. It provided some covered area for our forklift operators to back up and inspect bales and bale quality outbound to the mill. and just provided us some much-needed breathing room on a very congested area of the dock. We spent about $275,000 on this, and we're very happy with the end product. We worked on our lighting inside the facility and outside of the facility. So we added high bay fixtures again at the back dock so that we have foot candles as night falls so we can swap trailers. And again, it's all about that throughput. We have limited dock availability currently, and we are doing everything that we can to maximize the utilization of those docks to get tons in and tons out, because the more that we do that, the better it is for Cobb County. We added some new equipment, got a brand new roll-off, just got delivered like last week, and some additional trailers. Again, the roll-off is to help service the Cobb County drop-off site. Our roll-off was not great, so we took a rental for a while, and we have finally received that machine, and it's doing well. So you see a nice brand new machine servicing the drop-off. We added 9 brand new 53-foot Hyundai 2023 trailers, again to spot out to industrial customers, bring those tons in. We improved our fire system, adding a new alarm system, better compressors, low and high air pressure, 11 risers in the building. Again, we process paper and plastics, so fire system is of utmost importance to us. And we also had a beautification project for the facility. We painted the scale house, is both of them. Buildings, laid down pine straw. We wanted to look really nice for that October grand opening of the drop-off site. And we again thank the commissioners who came out to see us. That's it, that's all.
Thank you for a robust presentation this morning. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Yes, go ahead.
Did West Rock not merge with Smurfit in September of 2023?
We have not merged yet, so it has gone through. We do believe that merger is going to happen. We will become the world's largest paper and packaging company, but the finalized details expecting maybe July.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, do you have any other questions? Well, thank you for your presentation, and thank you for the tours that were provided on site when we did have the ribbon cutting of the recycling center. It was different to have the opportunity to see it firsthand. I think you came one year with the video, and we got a chance to see it that way, but appreciate you opening up your doors to us.
Yes, always.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks, Dr. J.
Okay. And our final presenter will be Cobb County's Chief Sustainability Officer and Executive Director of Keep Cobb Beautiful, Ms. Kimberly White.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Chairwoman, Commissioners, County Manager. Okay, so we have been here for 40 years now. Yay!
40 years. Wow.
Our 3 main focus areas are litter prevention, community greening / beautification, and then waste reduction and recycling. So these are some of our programs at a glance. Many of the programs are the same programs that we've held for many years, with a couple of exceptions. We expanded our litter index survey. That's something we've always done, but we've expanded that. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more later on about the 3rd program in the recycling and waste reduction column, which is called our KCB Pop-Up Drop-Off Program. I'm really excited about this. This is brand new. So our litter index survey, these are our numbers over the last few years. And as you can see, I left the numbers in the middle section for both 2022 and 2023. Our overall countywide litter score has gone up. That's in the wrong direction. We want it to go down as close as possible to 1.0. And as you can see, the individual scores are there as well. And so we are not as bad as the worst score that we've ever received, but we definitely want to try to get better at this. The ACCG Civic Affairs Foundation, we are a recipient again this year in 2024 of the GCIP grant. So this was the grant that we this was the grant that got us our interns last year, and we were able to get the same interns again this year that will help us with our litter index. So last year, while I was here, we talked a little bit about the climate vulnerability assessment that Georgia Tech did in conjunction with Keep Cobb Beautiful for Cobb County. And they had a number of recommendations that they listed. One of those recommendations was an expanded recycling initiatives and opportunities. And we're really, really proud to be able to say that we were able to accomplish this through our new recycling drop-off center. That was a great day. I believe it wasn't raining yet, but for those of us that were out there, it did start to sprinkle a little bit. But I think we got the picture in, so that was good. And then we have our new Keep Cobb Beautiful recycling pop-up drop-off. So we're real excited about this. This is where we'll go out. Our first event will take place on April 6th. With Kennesaw State University, and we will be collecting hard-to-recycle plastics at this location. We'll also partner with our Parks Department, and when there are games, like softball games and things happening in the parks, we'll be set up there to collect recyclables and drop them off to West Rock, and then also in communities where there's multifamily housing, where they don't have the ability to do curbside recycling, we'll be able to offer them pop-up drop-off recycling on like a Saturday, in a particular time. So our new communication strategy, this is our flyer that's going out in the water bill, and this is for the spring, and these are all of our events that are coming up for Earth Month. So yeah, we've gone from Earth Day to Earth Month. Hopefully we could go Earth Year. So we have our mobile recycling, our pop-up drop-off, and then our sustainability forum and expo that will happen on April 11th. Our community recycling event will happen on April 13th. And then our Great American Cleanup, those events they go from April 1st down to June. And so we'll have a number of them, but one of them will be the District 4 Earth Day cleanup that will happen off of East-West Connector. And then our medication disposal event, which will happen in the two locations, one at Precinct 1 and then one at the C. Freeman Pool Senior Services Building. So this is our nonprofit update. Our board of directors, we have some new people in place. So our new chair is Dora Locklear. Our vice chair is Myron Macy. Our treasurer is Aaron Mulgrew. Our secretary is Sharon Meinhardt, and our past chair is Barry Krebs. We decided this past year to include our past chair on our executive committee because it will help with the transition from one board chair to the next. So these are some of our awards. So our national awards that we received this year, the Keep America Beautiful President's Circle Award, we received that one again this year, and then the Sue Smith Professional Leadership Award. And our state awards that we received this year was the Keep Georgia Beautiful Governor's Circle Award, the Steve Reynolds Public Servant of the Year Award, Commissioner Sheffield, our Community Catalyst Award, Friends of Mableton, and then our Clean Community Champion Award is Kids Care. And we received those awards on May 7th in Jekyll Island. So this is our KCV Awards Gala. And this was a lot of fun this year. Everyone dressed up. We were really excited. We had, it was kind of like the Great Gatsby theme, and we had a lot of fun and gave out some wonderful awards. And actually, one of the awardees for the state actually won an award as well from us for Keep Cobb Beautiful. So Kids Care won the Youth Award for Keep Cobb Beautiful and also won the state award. Our 2023 programs. So we have our Bring One for the Chipper. This is where we take back Christmas trees, minus any ornaments or lights or anything of that nature. And we chip them, and they're allowed to go back out to the community. They're able to get them from either Davy tree or tag grinding, the trees that are chipped, and they're able to use it to, for their gardens or even fish and wildlife habitat as well. And then our medication, and we did 7,075 trees this year with 61 volunteers that helped us at the multiple sites. And then our medication disposal, we did a little over 1,720 pounds of medication that was collected at those two events, one in the spring and one in the fall. Our community recycling events, we held 2 this year. As Brandy from GFL came up and mentioned that one of the events was at Jim Miller Park. And it was our normal, I think it was a normal event that we would typically hold. And then one of the events was in a new location. It was off of Cobb Parkway at the Whitewater parking lot. And it was a new location, and so I think we had a limited amount of residents that realized we were there and joined us. But this year, or last year in 2023, we collected a little over 42,000 pounds of paper. The metal collected was 16.51. Our electronics, 15.98, and then our Hefty Renew material collected a little over 800 pounds, and we had 55 volunteers that helped us. And our HHW, our Household Hazardous Waste event, we had 1,125 vehicles in attendance for that one event, and then we collected 125,320 pounds of material, and that's things like paint, batteries, light bulbs, things of that nature. Our Dig in the Dirt program, we are in our 12th year with this program, and we gave out $4,578 to 6 schools for them to do gardens or plant or have flowers there in their school to beautify their area, and also. Over 2,500 students were actively engaged in this program, just learning how, like where food comes from, the grocery store, but it has to be grown first. And so they have the ability to kind of have hands-on learning with that. Our Adopt a Mile program in 2023, we had 1,650 volunteers with over 20,000 volunteer hours. We have 167 miles of streets that are adopted and cleaned on a regular basis. And we have 143 Adopt a Mile groups. So as you can see, we're moving in the right direction with that, right? So we had 143 in 2020, and then we started losing some of those groups. A lot of the groups were older groups that have been around for a while. And so now we're moving back in the right direction to bring more groups on board. Our Hefty Renew program, we are in phase 4 of this program. It is countywide now. We have both drop-off options. We have drop-offs in the city of Smyrna and then at our new reconstructed recycling facility. And then additional haulers have joined to offer that for their residents. So if you have a hauler that participates, you can purchase the bags, put the material in your regular curbside recycling bin, and then it's dropped off to West Rock. And then also, you can now purchase bags in multiple retail stores. If you guys can remember when we first started, we barely had them in one retail store, and now you can really go to any of the stores listed and be able to purchase the bags. And then also an expansion of the end user markets. So we have always done diesel fuel, oil, and wax, but we've now expanded to do plastic lumber, block aggregate, and a hydro block. It's a water system. It's an underground water system to help move water. Our recycling locations, our main drop-off recycling location is in collaboration with West Rock at the 1775 County Services at the facility that they showed. And then District 1 on Kemp Ridge Road, that drop-off is still there at the fire station. And then in District 4 on Austell Road at the government center there. These are all of our upcoming events. All of this information you guys will get so that you can put in your newsletters as well. But we have a lot of things coming up. We have some seed swaps happening, which is always a lot of fun, in seed events at some of our libraries, and then just some gardening events, of course, in recycling. All right. Any questions?
Thank you always, Kimberly. We always look forward to your presentation. we have the opportunity to interact with you most, so we get the chance to see what you're doing in the community quite frequently. With that, Commissioner Burrow has a question. I have a question for you, too.
First of all, congratulations again on all your state and national awards. We're very proud of you. Thank you and your team. Can we get these slides from all the presenters as well, emailed to us?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
That would be helpful. So a question that comes up periodically pertains to the community recycling drop-off locations. There's one in District 1 and District 4. There used to be one, I perceive, in each of the districts. Can you let me know where that is going, if we'll ever see it expand to each of the districts in the county?
So yes, there were drop-offs in all of the districts, but we had 2 locations that were used a lot. And sometimes abused. And so material would not end up going to where we had intended for it to go. It ends up on the ground as litter. And so 2 other locations could not be maintained or managed by the vendor that we had in place, and also by the resources that we currently have. And so 2 of the locations had to be closed, and that's one of the reasons why the location on county services was expanded, to be able to take on some of those residents that would come that direction when their facilities closed. However, I would really like to thank Commissioner Richardson as well for providing some funding and resources for us to put a satellite recycling drop-off in District 2, which will be kind of a pilot program. It'll be new, it'll be set up a little bit different than the others, and we will be actually managing that drop-off and servicing it ourselves with the team that I have with Keep Cobb Beautiful.
Very good. And I also want to thank you for the first sustainability forum that you held earlier this year. It was quite an informative event, an eye-opening event. I did not realize all the partners that we had within the county and throughout the county that are helping with sustainability efforts through their individual practices, but also community-wide. And so I look forward to us having the community-centric forum in April so our residents can learn more about that and we can be working together as a team to address sustainability. But kudos to you.
Yeah, we're really excited about that one as well. It's more hands-on. So we're going to have the people that we do the program with the Hefty Renew bring in. We have coasters and building blocks and all kinds of stuff that are made with the material that was collected in Cobb County. And so we're real excited about that.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you, and congratulations to you once again on the award you recently received.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thanks.
As you may have noticed, there was no specific. As you may have noticed, there was no discussion about the haulers or the Hauler Association in Cobb County. Dr. Gibson and I have been coordinating with the county manager to bring to work session, hopefully in April, and have haulers or the Hauler Association president, I guess, give a report, and maybe 1 or 2 other, haulers to discuss, I guess, their operations in Cobb County.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
You have any additional questions for me?
I'm not seeing any, but I think this is a record for the shortest Solid Waste Authority meeting. I don't ever recall us ending before 9 a.m.
Yeah, I think I scared them this year.
But thank you. Thank you for all of our presenters this morning, and we'll look forward to joining you in March of next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're adjourned.